Melon Splash, hot topics and cool conversations with me, Sujata. I'm really excited to be presenting this jointly with Writers Melon. There was a technical glitch, and that is why the delay. We apologize for that. As a writer, I have often wondered what is technology, this fast moving technology, doing to us as a people? Of course, we are better informed than we were previously. Any information that we seek is just a click away. But it is. Does it also? Is it also turning us into or making us better people? Are we focusing on the right things? Are we thinking positive? Are we talking positive? The idea behind this initiative was to get the writing community talking about current issues that matter, and talk positive from a positive perspective. Every Every episode of Melon Splash will feature a new guest speaker, and we'll pick up a current topic. We'll choose a current topic, and the guest speaker, of course, will share their thoughts on it. Everyone is welcome to join in. For our very first episode, the topic that we are discussing is Kashmir, and we have with us Sanchit Gupta. Sanchit is also a writer. He has recently come out with his debut novel, A Tree with a Thousand Apples. Other than that, he is also executive producer for one of the major television networks. He's a short story writer and a poet, and he is also a freelance screenwriter, film screenwriter. Sanchit, welcome to the show.
Hi, Sujata. Thanks a lot. Thank you for inviting me, and really congratulations for starting this initiative. I think the things that you said behind the objective of this initiative are very nice because what we really need to do, I think, as author community, is to talk about the issues that matter, and
Yes.
use growing the closeness among people, growing communities in a better way, to
Yeah.
highlight things that matter. Really appreciate that, and thank you for inviting.
You're most welcome. Sanchit, tell me, what is the weather like in Mumbai?
Oh, it's raining. It's raining, and it's very, very lovely. Yeah, it's perfect to have a hot cup of tea along with lots and lots of pakoras.
No such weather here, though it looks like it will rain. From inside, it's lovely, but I don't know how it is outside. Probably humid in Delhi.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Sanchit, coming to your book, it's on Kashmir, and
Yes,
I
yes.
wanted to know, when I was preparing for our conversation for this, I was wondering if you've ever been to Kashmir. I'm sure it's lovely there this time of the year. So, have you ever been there? And if so, what were your first impressions, or what are your fond memories of the place?
Yeah, instead of a hot cup of tea, I'd prefer to have a hot cup of kava there.
Yes,
Yeah.
lovely. I've
No,
had
no.
it.
Yeah, yeah. So yes, I have been. I have been to Kashmir. I had been to Kashmir in 2009. Okay. I
Okay.
was. I was working.
Before the book or after writing your book?
Much before the book, much
Much
before the book, much before even the idea of writing such a book had incepted in my mind.
Okay.
I was working with an organization, and I had gone there for a work visit. Okay,
Okay.
in 2009, and that work visit involved me visiting various parts of Kashmir, especially the markets, talking to people on ground, talking to normal civilians, and
Mm-hmm.
and that is what the first impression of Kashmir on me was. It's a very beautiful, nice, gentle place. Is what I could see, and the irony was that that gentle place was has become a cage, and that was my first impression. And I didn't think about writing the book at that point of time. I was not writing books in 2009, but the soul of the place remained with me, and the children of Kashmir remained with me. Some sights that I saw remained with me.
What were
I
the sites? Tell us
pardon.
the the places you visited in Kashmir. Tell us a bit about that. Which all places did you go to?
I spent most of the time in Srinagar, but I also visited Anantnag, Baramulla, and Sopore. Sopore, I also, once had gone to Sopore. So, I remember I visited a shop as part of my work visit, and the shopkeeper was, served kava to us. And at a distance, I saw this, this 12-year-old Kashmiri Muslim boy and an
Mm-hmm.
army and a 20-year-old army soldier. Who he too was a young boy having cups of
Mm-hmm.
kava together, and I really liked that sight. I myself was, I think, 24, 23, 24, and
Mm-hmm.
it was quite a genuine sight, a good bond, with something that I was not aware of, and maybe nobody there was. And I like that. I like that. There was a sense of humanity and love amidst everything that was going around. And in front of me, after some time, I spent say half an hour in that shop, and I also saw stone pelting in Sopore.
Oh, okay.
So with Sopore, it happens a lot. And so that is how it is. It's very kaleidoscopic because what happens in a minute of in a matter of seconds
Yeah.
changes the life in Kashmir. And and just imagine if something like this would happen outside my home in Mumbai or your home in Delhi.
Yeah.
Live a life like that, where there is you aspire for some kind of peace, but you're constantly living under that threat of violence, which is perpetrated by certain XYZ elements, is something that is unfortunate for everybody. It is unfortunate for that 20-year-old soldier who has to go and fight them. It is unfortunate for that 12-year-old boy who has to become a victim of it. And I think that was the thought, that remained with me. I had my roommate as a Kashmiri Pandit, when I was in college, like from 2005-6. He
Okay.
used to tell me several of Kashmiri Pandits, Kashmiri culture.
Mm-hmm.
We used to joke around. He used to
Local
be a
cuisine. He did not mention the local cuisine, the
yeah,
yak
lots.
aloo and rajma chawal and what rogan josh
Yes, and the Vazwan. So
and the one. Yes, of course. Yeah. Yeah.
yes. So he used to tell me a lot about the local cuisine. Actually, my roommate, and
Mm-hmm.
he used to get Peran all the time, and the way he would talk, the various anecdotes he would share. So all 2 3 years when I spent with him as a roommate, he told me a lot. He gave me a gold mine of research material, if you can say, which I never wrote down, which I never really thought that okay, I will write it one day. But then I think in 2013, when I started writing this book, uh, all this came back, and it was that sight of that boy and that Jawan and my friend and all those things that I wanted to bring out. And that is why I always say, this book, it is not a book on politics. It is not a book to become a debate on national television, because I am not talking about political issues out there. All I'm talking about is people. I'm talking about, and what I want to talk
This
about.
book, we'll come to your book also again. I want to ask you a few questions on the book. But
Yeah,
whatever you shared till now brings me to an expression that is very often used in
yeah,
Kashmir. It is
yeah,
synonymous with Kashmir
yeah.
actually. Kashmiriyat tradition,
Correct, correct,
It
correct.
used to mean something completely different earlier than how it is used now. It used to signify non-violence, secularism, the cultural ethos,
Correct.
But nowadays it is interpreted as probably freedom from political freedom from India and Pakistan.
Hmm.
Do you think Kashmiriyat as a
Hmm.
term is still alive in the hearts of the people as it used to be understood earlier, as an expression of solidarity, patriotism, their love for their
Uh,
own country, people, their pride for their own land?
yeah. See,
And
I'll
context, sorry, I have to interrupt you here. In context with the recent Amarnath attacks that happened,
yeah,
could you share
yeah,
your thoughts? Yeah.
yeah. See, something very interesting and very ironical that we keep forgetting is
Yeah.
that so what Kashmiriyat has always been, okay, and much before 1990, for thousands
Mhm.
of years before 1990,
Yeah.
was this great bond between Kashmiri Pandits and Kashmiri Muslims in the valley. The communal harmony between the two communities for thousands of years was something that signified Kashmir. It was this love and the friendship between these two families. Uh, so today, when we say that, okay, Kashmiriyat has deserted the valley, it is that bonding. Okay, that is the
Yeah.
core, and that happened in 1990. So the loss of Kashmiriyat is one that originated from 1990 because of that loss of bonding and love. It has nothing to do with land. You know, that is our interpretation because of what happened in the 27 years after that. In 1990, it was when Kashmiri Pandits were forced to leave, and Kashmiri Muslims since then, those days also suffered, a difficult life. That bond went away somewhere between those people who always had that bond. And today, uh, whether it is alive or not, it is again not a political question. For me, it's a social question. It is a question which would say that, do the Kashmiri Muslims also still have, even if in pockets and nooks and corners, some love for the Kashmiri Pandits. I like to look at the positives.
For people
Last
living in Kashmir, not only Kashmiri Pandits, but also people in general from that region enjoys significant amount of ethnic, cultural, and religious diversity. It's special to that area. There are Buddhists there, there are of course Hindus there, and everybody. So is Kashmiriyat as a term alive, in the hearts of the people living there, everyone over there, despite their religious differences? Do you think it is
there,
still there?
it definitely is there. And you see, we look at it when we stop generalizing the fact
Yeah,
that, okay, if there is an attack that has happened, it is
yeah.
not the normal Kashmiri civilian who has done that. It is the terrorist who is trying to use that to cause that rift. you know
Mm,
in Kashmir, there is this Hazrat Bal and Shankaracharya who are facing each other.
mm,
That is what symbolizes Kashmir. That has always symbolized Kashmir.
mm.
What we must always try to look at. Last year, or I think a couple of years ago, if you remember, Kashmiri Muslims celebrated Herat in Srinagar. Herat is
Yeah.
Shivratri. Okay, and it used to be a typical. It is a Hindu festival, and earlier it used to be celebrated by both the communities with full zeal and show. Even in the book I show how the two families used to celebrate and used to give hirat kharch to each to to the even the Muslim family. And
Yeah.
likewise, also right now, even in context with the Amarnath attack, also we have seen that there were several Kashmiri Muslims who, in spite of the curfew, came out to help the victims, recently also. So it is not the community. It is some people who are trying to create that rift. And what we must try to do is to be aware of that,
Yeah.
and so that as individuals who are first humans, rather than become part of a community or a nation or a caste creed. Do we look at it with compassion and empathy, or with enmity? That will pretty much decide the way we answer this question.
Thank you. Let's move on to a little lighter topic now. Let's talk films. You're from the
Yeah,
filmy. I'm a movie buff. So,
yeah.
what movies do you watch? Tell me.
Oh, I watch all kinds. I don't know if you know. In my introduction, you said that yeah, a freelance film screenwriter. I'm also writing films. I recently,
Yeah.
in fact, wrote a romantic comedy called Behan Hogi Teri, which starred
Oh,
Rajkumar
yes,
Rao.
yeah. Yeah, I've seen the ads and all. Yeah, coming on the TV, and
Yeah, yeah,
it's
yeah, yeah.
about to come. I think the movie's about to come. It's not released yet, right?
It did. It did release. It released
Oh,
last
oh.
month. Yeah,
Okay. Nice
yeah,
idea.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I know. But
I have,
it's a fun.
I must
Huh?
say.
Pardon?
I was saying that I'm a die-hard romantic. I don't miss any romantic movies. Two of
Oh
my
yeah.
favorite movies are based on Kashmir are Roja and
Oh,
Fana. I
okay.
essentially treat them as love stories
Yeah, yeah.
with the backdrop was
Okay.
Kashmir
Yeah.
conflict as the backdrop. And somehow I've
Yeah.
realized, and I keep wondering, what is it with the creative people and the directors and we as writers?
Hmm.
When we talk of that particular area and that region, even love stories have this. The focus shifts from the love story to the Kashmir conflict. You talk of any movie after Kashmir Ki Kali. I watched that also, and I liked that movie very much. But my
Uh,
favorites are Roja and Fana, both of them,
uh,
because of
uh,
their the actors, and it was fantastic. Both the movies were lovely. So,
yeah.
but I observed this whether these two or any other movie after that, Heather, Mission Kashmir, any movie you speak of, they would
Yeah.
have the Kashmir conflict there. So why are we always focusing on what is wrong in the valley and not on other things, that is going right? Like you were mentioning things about this small shop you visited. I read
Yeah.
somewhere that there is this lady called Sabah Haji, who runs a school in Doda with 350 children, and she came, she had a very elite background, and I mean she comes from a very good family. Of course, the father was from a small village in Doda district,
Uh,
and the
uh,
whole family decided to shift from Bangalore to their village and start the school. And
uh,
volunteers
uh,
all over the world, including India, go and live there for 3 months. They teach the children, and
yeah.
the school is growing every day. So why can't we have such stories coming out from movie makers and writers? And of course, I will come to your book also. But share your views on this aspect. Why only on the conflict? I went on Goodreads also, and I saw so many. I tried to pick books which had a different flavor other than the Kashmir Valley, the conflict basically. But
Hmm.
all the 20, 30 books that I looked were focusing on the conflict.
Yeah,
Why
yeah.
so?
In your 2030 books that you saw, did you happen to see a book called Chef by Jaspreet Singh?
Chef by, I don't recall. Sorry,
Yeah, I would.
I don't recall.
So that is also I'll give you an example. For example,
Yeah,
that book, it also talks about in some way the food of Kashmir,
yeah,
which is the basis of how he has lived the story, and beautifully penned it down. My point is that yes, the conflict overpowers all because that is what we have come to see, and conflict will always be there as part of the construct of the story because that is what makes that story a story. But what we must try to do is to highlight the positive things and the good things about the people and the culture. I think
yeah.
my book tried to do. Why the films have not done it, then I am not the right. I cannot comment, but I can tell you that we are working on a couple which will do that in the future. Uh, and that is what we must aspire for in telling the people, we must call a spade a spade, uh,
Yeah.
and at the same time throw light which takes people in the positive direction, right? So Kashmir is paradise which has been called by Kalhan hundreds of years ago. It is the only paradise on earth, as we have come to know, and that makes it such an interesting such an interesting place to be. Today it is mired in conflict, but it has always been this beautiful enamoring place. And the more we talk about more we talk about the beauty, more we talk about the people, the dances. We talk about the rough dance. I don't think I've ever seen a rough dance on cinema.
Yeah.
And I would really want to see it because it's a pretty dance. You know,
Yeah.
Even in Kashmir, yeah, you watch the Dal Lake and the Shikara, and you remember those things with Preeti Zinta, going out and on the Shikara because those are pretty sights. You watch several kinds of trees, several kinds of the
The
flora and
apple
fauna.
orchard.
Pardon?
The apple. orchards, the beautiful apple orchards. I have fond memories of that place.
Exactly. So
It's
So
yeah,
paradise exists. It not just in land, in the air, in the people. And I'll tell you, and I keep saying that from my first-hand experience that the normal citizens of Kashmir are very very gentle people. The way they talk to you, it's very very gentle, coy, very very polite. And
yeah,
it is in that which it is that what we must need to talk good about things, and then make and the elements that try to disrupt that be on the hindsight, be
yes,
the back
yeah.
story, not the
Mm,
front story. More we talk about people, and no less we talk about politics. More we talk about
mm,
people, more we talk about the culture, more we talk about what good they are doing, you know
mm.
and I think other people will also like to do that, because they feel many people after the book have come and told me how, both Kashmiri Pandits and Muslims, how they even if as the book progresses, conflict comes in, they are reminded of of good times. They're reminded of what Kashmir is, and it
Mm.
makes them happy. Just reading about Kashmir, as a soul, rather than just a place with lakes and trees and roads. You must talk about the soul.
I used to call Char Chinar Char Minar when I was
Yeah,
remember I
yeah,
this Charminar. I think of those four trees and I'm like
yeah,
Charminar.
yeah,
Though I
yeah,
know now it's
yeah,
any
yeah.
talking about your book. What is it about actually? Is it does it depict the grim reality? I can make out it does. I haven't read the reviews for your book. I specifically did not want to do it then, before our talk. I wanted to know from you what gave you the idea and what is it exactly about? What is the story about?
So the idea, as I said, is from what I said when I visited Kashmir. It was where that inspiration may have come.
Mm-hmm.
I saw children of Kashmir. In I saw then what my friend used to tell me. I saw that it's a beautiful place, which is marred by some conflict where this is the most important thing that I want to put out and always say. Everybody is wrong, right, and everybody is wrong. Okay. It's
Yeah,
the right what's the right kind of conflict. If you
yeah,
see things from one point of view, you feel yeah, right,
that's right. Yeah,
the right, the civilians are right, the army is right, everybody is right because everybody is doing the right things from their own point of view, and yet from the other person's point of view, they are wrong. And who is suffering? Everybody is suffering.
yeah,
Uh, and that is exactly what I wanted to bring out in the book, and I wanted to bring out in a manner that you know uh, it is not the author who is telling them, because who am I to say that? It is the characters who tell this. It is the characters who say this. The characters who make the person think, the reader, that yeah, ये बंदा भी सही है, ये बंदा भी सही है, ये बंदा भी गलत है, ये बंदा भी गलत है, and make their own judgment. Essentially, that is the book all about. It is told through the eyes of three children. Why children? Because children don't have that prejudice of right and wrong.
true.
Children, as we grow that prejudices. But the beauty is that these three children, they have that naivety, they have that innocence, they have that bond of friendship, that is so strong during their childhood that even as they grow, they want to maintain that bond. They don't want to know anything about post 1990 when things change. They don't want to know how what has happened politically or in their land. All they want to preserve is their bond of friendship, because this is what has happened with us. When we were friends, when we were kids, friendship is very very significant to us. Right? But it is same for them, and we understand that those children are nobody like and are nobody unlike us. They are like us. They're children like us. It's just that they are unfortunate to have had to lead a more difficult childhood, and we are
Yeah,
fortunate. And when I saw that, I just I'm such a fortunate guy. I want to tell the story of these children and what they do throughout their life, as they're affected by the conflict, to to preserve that friendship amidst injustice, amidst things that are happening around them. What these three children, who are both Kashmiri Pandits and Muslims, will do. preserve their friendship. That's what it is all about. It's about empathy, it's about compassion, it's about living a life for each other more than yourself. If those children can do it, then we are too lucky, too fortunate to living the life that we are. Maybe we can.
Okay, what is that one message, if you had to give one message to the children and the youth of this country about consequences of war and conflict? What would be that one message that you would give out?
See, the one message in one word will be purely empathy. See, because what happens is, what happens to us, I believe, is that we get too mired in our own thoughts and beliefs and prejudices, that we tend to ignore or tend to not understand what the other person is going through. You know, and if we can do that, it's not just about Kashmir. Anywhere. Any conflict zones of the world today, or any place where we face such situations, we can just
Hmm.
simply understand that, yeah, their lives are not so simple, and maybe we can be more considerate and more compassionate and more empathetic towards them. We'll be able to see them more easily. We'll be able to see their point of view more easily, and fight less and be more understanding and peaceful. you know uh, there is this article I recently published on Kashmir in Fair Observer. There was this point that I was trying to make is exactly what you asked. There's this book where Hemingway talks about the First World War, and he says that when you saw war, see how war would come and kill you, because
Hmm.
that was the atmosphere at that point of time. And today we don't have those wars. you know as common people like you and me, we are not we are very low on its radar. We are very low on, but people who are living in, say, Kashmir or Syria or Afghanistan, they are high. Their lives are more dangerous, and if just have some compassion towards them, understand that things have been wrong, and if we just keep enmity in our hearts, it is not good for anybody, for them, for us, for all of us. So if you just have that compassion and empathy, I think that's all we are looking. That's all what at least I am looking at.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Sanchit. With that, we come to the end of this episode of Melon Splash. Thank you so much for joining us and sharing your thoughts on the issue. Dear friends, I hope you enjoyed this conversation with Sanchit Gupta. You may have a few questions, and he can take them on. He can respond to them after this talk. And this is his book, which he's showing. Do go and buy it and share your views with us on Writers Melon, on the website, or wherever, on Twitter, on Facebook. And you can also add Sanchit, or go and be friends with him on Facebook and get to talk to him more. Also, stay tuned for our next episode, the next hot topic, with a new guest author and a new topic. Until next time, keep smiling and stay positive. Bye bye.
Thank you, Sujata. Bye bye.
Sanchit. Bye.